Hello, Pisces. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Awaken Tarot. The website in the back here is myryve.com. I forgot to get that little book out because there's a person, I can't get it out, it's stuck. There's a lady who's the creative director. Her name's Sally Willems, Willms. I can't. It's like stuck. The book is stuck. So, sorry. But if you look up this, you'll find it. If you go to that website. Supportive Oracle Cards. Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrations by Jesse Reish. Website is hayhouse.com there at the bottom. Another thing, yeah. We're good. We're going to move on. Okay. What do we have for Pisces? Got a double card already. A double card where I literally have no idea what's behind it. Okay. Let's do our oracle cards. Knowledge and wisdom. So, I hope I'm not making this... I think I'm saying this in the right direction. Knowledge is having, it's like having the blueprint. Wisdom is having used the blueprint, knowing how it actually feels to do it. I think that's the difference. Could be wrong. But there's something coming forward. So, what is coming forward is a good question. I got the dice here, but I'm getting, something from the past coming back. I don't know if it's a person or, a situational thing. It feels more situational. Like something that's happened before is coming around again. Alright. Let's see if we can get a little bit more definition on that. Three of Swords and the Magician. So last time this played out, I was not happy with it, is what I'm getting. Three of Swords is not a good feeling. It's on the dice. And the Magician is kind of like... This might be one of those things where you look back and you're like, I handled it a certain way because of this, that, or that's how I thought it worked. This is one of those situations you may have, or maybe this is trying to trigger you to kind of replay it out in your head. Look at how it played out and what your participation value was in that, what you had, how you participated in that situation. This time coming around, you have the option to do it differently. So life does this. This is not I don't feel like this is a surprise to most of you. Things happen in cycles, things come around again. And it's the ability to look at situations in the sense of just because it's not playing out exactly the same. So for example, maybe you were in high school years ago, and now there's another learning opportunity coming forward where you're learning something and there's something similar to that instance coming in. You could be doing something at work. You could be working in a class at work, learning something. You could be taking something on your own, whatever, something like that. It doesn't have to be that, but this is just an analogy. You have this coming forward again, and it's kind of it's not exactly how it was before, but there's similar things playing out in it. Maybe how you're feeling or how people are treating you, something like that. It's coming around again, and it's kind of you have a power to do this differently. The first thought is kind of not... I feel like I'm more comfortable not dealing with it. Pretending it's not happening. Pretending it's not an issue. Just kind of floating past it. Okay. This might be your natural energy to just take a very quiet, kind of that's happening there, and I'm just going to try to let it happen and just... ignore it as much as possible and just keep going. I'm saying this as a Pisces. It seems like we kind of do that sometimes. There's a lot of different flavors of Pisces, so take it with a grain of salt. And the thing is, you also have the knowledge of where that'll get you, where that got you last time. And the Three of Swords popped up saying, I didn't like where it got me last time. I didn't like how that played out. I didn't like how it felt. Okay. Anything... Because I'm getting you could easily go back into that track and just let it play out like it played out before, but you don't have to. All right, so there's something popping in unexpected. What is it? Half in, half out. The devil. All right, so I already knew you didn't really care for it. If this is happening, it's happening. This isn't something like by watching this reading it's going to happen. It's either happening or it's not. So just let's keep that in mind. If this reading is hitting for you, by watching this reading, you're not making it happen. It's either already there or it's not. So it's like this, I would say this is nothing to fear. Taking that passive stance replays what you've already done and kind of replays it the same way it played out last time. And it may not be a totally passive stance or just kind of like getting along with something and just trying to play nice. It's almost like making friends with a bully and bringing a bully an extra sandwich. Like, you know, I'll pay off the bully by bringing them, like, I'll give them my dessert or something for my lunch or something like that, which is a really simple way to look at it. It's kind of like, well, they leave me alone if I do that. I don't like it. I really would like my dessert, but, you know, and whatever it is, but if I can just, I'd rather give it to them, it's just less stress for me, or is it? So it's like, that's an analogy. It's a very simple analogy, but I feel like you can apply it as necessary. So knowing that you don't like that, you have the ability to change what this is. The thing is, your first thought is, I don't know if that's really going to do anything good for me, though. If I stand up to this, I can stand up to it. And I feel like a lot of us are at this point where we hit that point where we're like, I know I can stand up to it. I know I can stand now. I feel stronger than I used to. I feel like I've learned enough that I know how to stand up against this in a way that I can make it through this and still stand. But with the Five of Swords, you might be questioning even though I can do it, what good does it do me? It's kind of like, okay. It's kind of like if this is a work-related situation, I can relate to this. I feel like that I hear this a lot, or I have heard this a lot. Somebody's treating me badly, maybe it's a manager or somebody else treating you badly. And you're like, yeah, but if I go to HR about it, then everybody thinks I'm the problem. Or then, you know, I'm the squeaky wheel. Or just because like maybe you went to your manager and said this isn't really working and they didn't really do anything about it. And you're like, well, if I go to HR, people are going to be upset with me. My manager is going to be upset with me because I just didn't let it go the way they wanted to. I had a really bad manager once that was a good person. I don't know why I'm going to give this example, but they were a good person. I still think they're a good person, but they were not good at managing. Me and another person, we had problems. We're just going to leave it at that. Her solution, was to just, we should just go in a room and talk it out. Somebody else stepped in and didn't let that happen because I think that would have went bad. I personally think that would have went bad. The point is, you could have good people that have bad solutions. Just because it's a good person doesn't mean you should accept a bad solution. I think that's where I'm going with that. Because by standing up for yourself, you're going to be surprised at the opportunities that come forward. Not only an opportunity for you to have things better than what they are, but you're also giving this other person an opportunity to learn that the way they think they're handling it is wrong. I'm just going to be flat out just wrong. Just wrong. Just no. There may be a lot of options, but they didn't choose a good one. I'm just saying that. So there could be something like that going on here. If you do come forward, you are correct. They're not going to really like it, but you are giving somebody an opportunity to do something better, and you're also giving yourself an opportunity in this situation to have better. Whatever the situation is, you're the one who's you're the justice bringer. You're bringing justice in. Doesn't mean you have to be crazy and throwing things around and kicking things as you run into the office or whatever the situation is. Not saying that, but by pushing the situation forward, by pushing things, putting things where they should be and having your voice be heard and kind of like, all right, I went this one route, that didn't fix this. So you know what? I'm going to the next level. Or even this could be like one of these situations where, I've dealt with this person many other times and tried to get them to help me and they can never seem to do it right. So you know what? I'm not wasting my time this time. I'm going to HR. I keep going with the business thing, but it doesn't have to be that, but I keep feeling it, so I'm rolling with it. Can we get a little bit more detail on this? Hold your ground. All right, so there's conflict that comes forward by you saying something, by you doing whatever you need to do. Conflict does come in. I don't think that's shocking. I feel like this might be one of the reasons, if this reading is hitting, that you're not really super excited about moving forward, because it's like you know it will create some version of conflict. I'm getting the Page of Wands and the Hierophant half in, half out. Both of them are half in, half out. People are going to try to change things. People are going to try to move things around. But somebody, that Hierophant, it's more in than out. I'm kind of feeling more strength with the Hierophant. By you bringing this forward, there's other things that aren't right in this situation. And I feel like by you bringing this forward, I feel like somebody has to look a little closer and go, you know what? If that's really happening, if what Pisces is telling me is really happening, or if what Pisces told HR is really happening, that might explain why a couple other things aren't right here. And I'm getting like somebody might take this really seriously, what's been heard. It may not be the person you're telling directly or you're working with directly. So for example, if we're going to use the business thing, you went to your manager, it didn't work so well, so you went to HR, just for argument's sake. HR is working on it, but whoever they're working with, somebody else connected with them is going, you know what, this might explain a couple other things. And they're getting in on it, and they're researching it. I get judgment in your favor long term. And I feel like this is where opportunities really come forward for you. You are clearing something out. You're making things better. You're making a very positive impression on certain people. There will be people who don't care for what you're doing. That might be for your benefit. That may be better. Sometimes I remind people, I'm just like, you know, how do I explain this? There's people, like, it's almost like they want to please everybody. And I'm like, well, if you look at some of these people, they're very unscrupulous. They're not really the best people. Why do you want to impress them? It's almost like if you impress the people who are really not the best and are really unscrupulous, you might want to ask yourself, why are they impressed? Like I don't know. When we get into that energy, we want everybody happy with us. That's not really a good thing. If everybody's happy, that might be more of a red flag than a good thing. I'm just saying. Not that you want to purposely make people angry, but like if you're going into life and you constantly want to make people happy, and that's like if everybody's happy, you're happy. I'm just saying there's that might be a red flag in itself. If certain people are bent out of shape, you might want to just think a little deeper, like, wait a minute, if they bent out of shape because they did the right thing or because you stopped them from doing the wrong thing. Sometimes people get bent out of shape for that reason, not because what you said hit them directly, as in you called them out on something poor that they're doing, but when you call out the rules and say, hey, this isn't right, this can't happen, maybe they're doing something somewhere else that they're also getting away with something that they shouldn't. And they're like, oh, wait, if Pisces is going to call people out for doing the wrong thing, oh, boy, maybe I can't get away with things that I want to get away with now. So if certain people are unhappy with you, just look a little closer and realize that that's maybe more of a benefit than a detriment. Things are going in your favor. Things are judgment in your favor. By doing this differently, you're having long-term benefits, and you are making a positive impact on the correct people. Keep that in mind. Are we good? Yeah. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.